blasted Magneto. Magneto!
I can sense your adamantium from miles away.
My claws! My back! Professor X, Magneto caught me off guard. You really messed me up.
As long as you have your adamantium bones, you'll never get past its powers.
You really messed up my bones.
The best course of action right now is to get bone grafts.
What's that?
Let me show you.
Bone grafting is a surgical procedure that replaces missing bone in order to repair bone fractures that are extremely complex, pose a significant health risk to the patient, or fail to heal properly. They are used to fuse joints, repair broken bones, or repair injured bones. The three major categories are autologous, allograft, and synthetic. When comparing them to real bone, there are four basic characteristics to look at: osseointegration, osteoconduction, osteoinduction, and osteogenesis. An ideal bone graft would match these properties from real bone. It would also be cheap, easy to obtain, pose no threat to the user, and have a robust mechanism of action. As far as the market, over 3 million musculoskeletal procedures are performed annually in the US, with up to half involving bone grafting with autograft or allograft. In 2006, the orthopedic market was valued at $25 billion worldwide, with orthopedic biomaterial making up $4 billion of this. With a compound annual growth rate of nearly 15%, the bone graft market is expected to surpass $4.5 billion by 2012. FDA regulations for bone graft classify most orthobiologicals as Class 2. Many bone graft substitutes are approved through the 510(k) process and are based on predicate device clearance, with some requiring pre-market approval. However, some bone graft materials are regulated as human tissue and do not require clinical trials or FDA approval for marketing.
I think I understand.
Are you interested?
Let me think about it.
You always had your advantage because you're adamantium, but Magneto is helping me.
What could be better than my super adamantium?
Ever heard of Cortos? It's an advanced injectable synthetic non-absorbable biomaterial that closely mimics the mechanical properties of Cortos weight-bearing bone.
What is it made of?
It consists of two main parts. The resin composition is made of this GMA and TEGDMA monomers that forms the structure and matrix of the bone graft. The resin composition prevents the degradation of the material, and overall it prevents immediate weight bearing and reduced leaching of unreacted components and controls snap set feature. The other part, inorganic particle fillers, consists of different inorganic materials that improves the mechanical strength, viscosity, and catalyze surface apposition of calcium and other necessary minerals. The reinforcing particles composition optimizes flow characteristics and mechanical properties, reduces maximum set temperature, and absorbs free radicals reduce during polymerization.
How can you handle something like that?
As far as biocompatibility, the bulk material, the graft, is synthetic cross-linking polymers that prevent degradation of the material. Furthermore, inorganic fillers promote protein and mineral absorption onto the implant to improve its integration into the body.
How do I deal with this? Kid! What is it you're up to?
The preparation technique is sensitive, so the quality of the bone graft depends on the quality of the implant. I guess the implant didn't go as well. I'll be back.
Professor X, I need a bone graft.
Ever hear of the infused bone graft?
I feel different. I need to go find saber tooth and test out my new bones. You're not the only one with a bone graft now.
I too have a new one. It's called Optifoam. It offers the flexibility of a dry material for a wide range of mixing option application. Their composition are science-based to create grafts with osteo-inducive and osteogenic factors. With corticancerous bone chips, Optifoam also provides for osteoconductivity. You can craft the handling characteristic you need. These bone grafts don't wash away and are tested for sterility and endotoxicity.
I don't know what to expect. Is it better than mine?
I've looked into Optiform for you.
Give me the details.
It is a product made by Exactech. Optiform is a demineralized bone matrix autograft produced through a process that involves the decalcification of cortical bone. Bone with an organic mineral is removed, which exposes more bone morphogenic proteins and induces bone and cartilage formation. Optiform also has cortical cancellous bone chips for structure and gelatin carrier.
So what's so good about it?
It avoids additional surgery and potential complications. The materials are frequently used during various orthopedic procedures. They are also readily available from bone banks and provide both osteoinductive properties and structural support. Lastly, it's moldable so it can conform to the implantation site.
It sounds really good. What are its weaknesses?
There is an increased risk of disease transmission and immunogenic response when allografts are intensively processed. To decrease these risks, the osteoinductive potential is lessened, and the processing removes osteogenic cells and reduces mechanical strength. It is unavailable for spine use and is generally regarded as an incomplete grafting product. Furthermore, it requires blood to be osteogenic and needs bone for osteoconductivity.
Thanks for the details. I know all about your Optiform now.
You'd be so confident. What do you have?
I have the infused bone graft. It's a titanium threaded inner body fusion device, a metallic spinal fusion case, a recombinant human bone, and morphogenic protein. Carrier scaffold for the bone, morphogenic protein, and resulting bone. The infused bone graft is used especially for the lumbar spinal cord or spinal area. This composite mainly consists of the RHBMP2 to promote differentiation of the mesenchymal cell. It promotes differentiation of the osteoprogenitors, osteoblasts, and to influence skeletal pattern formation. Also, the matrix consists of an ACS, absorbent collagen sponge, to allow passage for growth hormones and other important healing components. It's made from bovine type 1, which is a cow, slowly released over a 2-week period, so it consists of human type 1 collagen, recombinant human bone morphogenic protein to act as an adjunct to autogenous bone graft. And finally, the titanium body protects from compressive forces, prevent collagen from squeezing out. It works really well with the biocompatibility of this device. It induces new bone tissues at the site of implantation. Since natural tissue is used, the body receives it better. Now, although there are some allergic reactions, rejection by some patients, furthermore, the RHBMP2 is the active reagent in the infused bone graft component. RHBMP is chemotactic for stem cells. It induces different differentiation to the osteoblasts, and again, it helps to metabolize and remove from the surgical site within 2 weeks. So you're wondering what the advantages of the infused bone graft. Well, for one, it eliminates the need for secondary surgery due to complications of having to harvest the bone. Also, the bone growth hormones controlled by the concentration so that it will not grow elsewhere in the body except in the surgical site. Furthermore, the infused bone graft was found to be safe and effective. The final advantage is that the bone graft lays down relatively quickly, allowing the bone to naturally place new bones in place of the infused bone graft. Studies have shown that after a 4-year evaluation showed about a 60% success rate, and over a 6-year evaluation showed about a 60% success rate.
That sounds better than mine.
Ha! Victory is mine!
I know about infused as well, and believe me, it has its disadvantages. The device should have had at least 6 months of non-operative treatment prior to actual treatment. It has many potential serious side effects, resulting in surgeons questioning the safety of the technique, and even in low doses of BMP, it resulted in complications. Potential adverse events include bone fracture, bowel or bladder problems, cessation of any potential growth of the operated portion of the spine, loss of spinal mobility or function, change in mental status, damage to blood vessels and cardiovascular system compromise, damage to internal organs and connective tissue, even death.
Where am I?
Back at the academy, Logan. Magneto took advantage of the titanium in your xenograph. But don't worry, we've found something better.
Back for more, bub?
You got lucky last time. It's going to be different now. Magneto gave me better grafts. He nabbed from White Medical Technology, OsteoSet, surgical grade calcium sulfate beads, proven, tried and true as bone grafts substitute for over 100 years. Well active and well compatible. It promotes bone growth and reserved in the body in 60 and 90 days. Say your prayers.
You were saying?
I think you have too much calcium. Perhaps OsteoSet is prone to hypercalcemia. My hips are falling. My hips are failing. I think I have incomplete bone growth. What is this? Yeah, I was afraid of that. OsteoSet is pretty much just bone filler. Not much going on in terms of osteoconductivity or osteoinductivity. It's not recommended for load-bearing bones either. Magneto!
Let's end this now.
Not so fast.
Haha! That does not affect me anymore.
OsteoCell Plus, a cell-based allograft with DBM, cancellous bone, and mesenchymal stem cells that can turn into different specialized cells is necessitated by osteoinductive signals between the MSCs obtained from healthy adult donors subjected to strict FDA screening and the host owned cells. It comes in an osteoinductive scaffold that provides a nice sturdy platform for new bone cells to grow. And since it's an allograft and not an autograft, there's no need for a secondary harvest site, so there are no added risks to morbidity from surgery. No shortage of bone material, thereby shortening recuperation time. Immune response isn't a problem either because MSCs don't contain person-specific genetic information that may be identified as foreign bodies either. The only downside is the rarity of MSCs. Only one cell for every 100,000 cells in human bone marrow.
No! I did. I beat Magneto.
Now head over to the lab so that we can continue the test.
What tests?
There are so many experimental materials that show some promise. We can try using wood. It's a bone graft where the bone consists of 70% modified hydroxyapatite bone scaffolds are created by chemically altering wood. Wood cells of parallel hollow tubes and porous areas make for an ideal template for a bone substitute because of its similar to morphological 3D structure and hierarchical architecture. This procedure entails a 5-step process.
It's all good and all, but why do we need to do all this again?
I've been using you and Sabertooth to find the ideal bone graft material in hopes that someday I can fix my legs and walk again. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing, walking around on their feet. I want to be where people walk, where people run, where people stay all day in the sun, wandering free. I want to be a part of that world.
You mean to tell me I didn't need all these surgeries all this time? Oh hell!